St. Patrick's Day 2017, and whoa, are you not wearing green? You racist. Well, let's at least do a comment here. I did that video yesterday about Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, and I awkwardly named it Tom Petty and the Hair Lossers. I know I could have called it the Hair Losers, but I don't ever want to imply that because you're losing your hair that you're a loser. So that's why I awkwardly called it the Hair Lossers. But on that video, our good barber friend Maxwell Smart had this to say. This is an excerpt of it, just because it was a bit long, but here's the overview. Quote, "Nick, I think we can set up a Between the Haircuts support group for you. Man, your haircut isn't even a week old yet. How are you going to last another 4 weeks? 2 tips. Wear your pork pie hat when you go outside." Oh, that's convenient because we're outside now and I'm wearing the hat. And also, he says, it will keep the weather from messing with your hair. Secondly, stop running your hands through your hair. He goes on to say how it adds oil and sweat and stuff to your hair. He goes on to close the statement by saying, quote, 4 weeks. I repeat, 4 weeks. End quote. So there we go. That is from our friend Maxwell Smart, who is almost contributing enough topics and comments as the original Robert. Robert, by default, has submitted more subjects for these videos than anyone, because he's been coming for a long time. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about my feelings and my emotions, because I'm emotionally intelligent and I don't bottle up my emotions, but I also don't wear them on my sleeve. Now, so yesterday I feel like psychologically it was one of those times where I was just like, yeah, my hair it's just I'm kind of getting over it. So it was funny because when I got home yesterday, I decided, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna wear my pork pie hat, and then these comments show up. So imagine the coincidence. But sometimes I just need like a hat day to recover from it, and then the next day I'll be able to appreciate more. Like, okay, I still have hair that I can manage and do something with, but sometimes I just have to have a hat day to recuperate, and that's today. That just happens to be today. But as I read this note from Maxwell, here's what I think when he talks the 4 weeks or the 3 weeks. It's getting to be so much trouble, and I think it helps me realize a fundamental issue. I think here's the fundamental issue. I don't really care enough about having hair, and I think what makes me happy the most is just to not have hair, because I can make things work. But if I have to plan my day around it, okay, you got to get a haircut every 3 or 4 weeks. You got to wear a hat when you go outside so it doesn't get messed up. And no, that's like I said before, I'm a low maintenance guy, and this is just, it's too much for me to deal with. So actually, I was looking at this picture that I keep up at work, that's upside down, of my family and I. This was us in San Diego. Can I get it close? San Diego in at a wedding. My wife's youngest brother got married in San Diego, and that's last October 2016. Look at my hair. I like my hair there. That's about 1.5 inches on top, and like I had I think a 2 or a 4 on the sides, whatever it was. But see, that to me is really probably the best way I should go, because it downplays the receding hairline, but it looks nice and short and neat, and it's just not as high maintenance is what I've got going on. So it's funny because, like, even though I can get away with my hairstyle, which I'll take off my hat just to, I mean, it's funny, I went through the trouble of actually even parting it today, and then I was like, wait, I'm wearing a hat. But that's what we're dealing with in reality. It's funny because it does kind of almost look thicker in the front when it's stacked up that high, but then we've got the receding hairline going all the way back there. So it was funny, I a little while ago at work, I took my hat off for a second, and somebody said, hey, your hair looks good like that. I guess I'll take any compliments I can get, but ultimately I think I'll have more peace when I go back to this. So I think probably what's going to happen next haircut right before my 36th birthday, I think I just need to go back to that is what I need to do. So I think that's going to give me more peace, and then from there I can sort of decide, hey, what point because there's so much peace and freedom in buzzing it off. And it just goes back to psychological. Fundamentally is really the word I should use. Fundamentally, I just don't care about hair. Like, it's funny that I care about trying to manage it and make it work, but that's when I care. When I don't care is when I don't have it. That's when I'm happy, because I don't care that I'm losing my hair then. But like when I have to upkeep stuff like this, because it doesn't even matter. Like, it really doesn't matter. And especially if I can just keep it this length, which I can never pull that out of my pocket and make it the right way. But if I could just have it like that, I think that would solve a lot of problems. That's really, I think, what I need to do. So it's funny because, like, let's say a year from now I have a buzz off hairstyle, and I could think, oh, but I kind of miss having, you know, my hair that long. And no, I don't. No, hey, I'm talking to my future right now. No, you don't miss this because you don't appreciate it, because you just keep going back to, you know, having shorter hair when it's easier to manage, and it looks better. And honestly, I mean, can I do it? No, it's still upside down. But I just think that, again, the hairline, it looks much more downplayed, in my opinion, there. And like, that's without thought. And that I can have pomade in it. Pomade is the right way to say it, I've learned. And it'll stay in place, and I won't have to wear a hat when I go outside. So these are my thoughts. These are my emotions here on St. Patrick's Day, as I'm sorting all of this out. So thank you for your support. This is what's going through my head, and it's important. It's important to psychologically be able to study a real life situation. So again, for the record, for newcomers here who aren't used to watching my channel, I'm not obsessed with my hair. It's just that I'm trying to find what's working, and I'm fundamentally not happy having hair that long, even though I can, and if I comb it a certain way and it looks, but fundamentally I'm not happy with it. So it's important to be fundamentally happy with the hair that you still have, and just because you can make something work doesn't mean that you should, especially not in this case. I'm Nick Shell. This is St. Patrick's Day, and I'm not obsessed with hair loss.